glad we finally made it. Whole a couple new scheduled dates. Me and you were probably driving Josh crazy.
Yeah, that's a fact. I felt like Josh was getting so annoyed.
It's funny too. It's funny to see him like double checking on stuff in there because me and Josh are always like bouncing back and forth about our own stuff.
Hmm.
But like we'll answer each other like 12 hours later, like 2 days later, whatever. But it's funny to watch when it's like me and Josh talking about something for Josh, we might answer like way later. But then when Josh is on it for one of his clients, he's like on it, like, boom,
Yeah,
what about this? What about this? Following up on this, following up on that. Like, it's funny, but I guess that's a sign of like great management, though.
yeah, I love that. I love that man, man.
Yeah,
He puts in the footwork for sure.
no, definitely. He's the coolest, man. He's the coolest. But no, bro, I'm excited. Definitely kind of like a full circle moment. I still remember back before anything Uzi was even like officially released. I think you had one on like Band's project way back when or whatever. And like there was a lot of like Uzi like leaks that had surfaced or whatever. And Ness from working on Dying intro to us. That was back in like I want to say summer 2018.
Yeah,
Um,
that was,
yeah, and then since then we kind of both been doing our thing in like our own separate lanes. So I'm definitely excited to kind of get into it now. But yeah, everyone sees what's going on. The big goat in the building, the producer room, powered by producer culture. Bugz Ronin, what's going on, my guy? How are you?
popping, man. Thank y'all for having me for sure.
Most definitely,
Being
most
my bitch.
definitely. But yeah, man, it's been a crazy run. You've been on it these past couple of weeks. I feel like, kind of watching from the outside looking in, like you're like a great like success story for somebody who's like just trying to have some stuff come out or whatever. Cause I feel like for you, like it probably felt like forever, but when the first domino like kind of fell, like everything just started rolling from there. And I mean, just looking in like the discography, just on what's released from the past, like you're all over these big projects time and time again, like week in and week out, it feels like. So it's got to be crazy.
Yeah, man. There's definitely time between certain projects, but when them shits came out, it was just worth the wait for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, it wouldn't just be one cut or two cut I was waiting on. It was a few cuts on each project, and shit. I'm grateful for that for real.
Yeah. I guess kind of like for you, like, I mean, how does it all start off, even in like the very beginning? Like, how do you get into like music in the first place, production? Like, where are you from? Like, how does it all kind of start off?
Yeah, so I'm from a small town, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, and around my way, in high school, there used to be this dance called Get Light, and I used to I was super into that, like, and I wanted to learn how they made the beats, uh, behind that dance shit that was going on. So I low key, started fucking with it from there. And yeah, it was trial and error, man. My first beat was ass. I'm not gonna lie. My first beat was terrible. I feel like every producer has that same, start, but I was in love with it, and nothing was stopping me from learning how to, master this. The fact, I guess the thing is the fact that I was bad at it. Like I wanted to get good so bad, so that's what kept me pushing forward.
Most definitely. Yeah, that's the motivation right there. I mean, what age are you when you first start even like making beats in the first place? Like, is that kind of like high school years or even before?
Yeah, high school years, like 16 going to 17. I was like learning, but not really taking it serious. Like I didn't take it serious until I moved to Puerto Rico, and I met some crazy ass producers over there.
Man, that's crazy. So you're born and raised in PA,
Hmm.
and then at what point do you move to Puerto Rico? And what do you move to Puerto Rico for?
I moved to Puerto Rico my senior year.
Uh-huh.
I moved out there because I went to Stroudsburg school my whole life. So my parents wanted to give me a change of, you know, atmosphere and shit. And I went to school out there for 1 year. And I'm not gonna lie, I wish I went out there longer, yo. It was lit out there. Yeah.
You technically finished high school there.
Yeah, I graduated from over there.
Was it were you like happy about that? Like I feel like a lot of people wouldn't really want to like switch for their senior year.
Now it was weird, but I definitely, I already I could always come back home to Stroudsburg, you know. So I always like the different change of scenery. That always inspired me. That always motivates me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I'm in the same boat for sure. I always kind of like to switch it up. What's it like? What was it like going to school over there? Did you go to like an American school or it was just like one of the schools around?
Yeah, the school I went to was like not far from military base. So at first I thought I was just gonna have to speak Spanish the whole time. Nobody was gonna know English, but turns out a lot of people knew English over there, and it was different like swag and different like different ways of living out there, but it was definitely lit, man, and enjoyable for sure.
So by
Mm.
the time you get to Puerto Rico, which is your senior year of high school, are you already like pretty good at producing at that point, or you're still kind of like in the beginning stages?
So I went out there thinking, I was gonna be like nice and bringing hip hop to Puerto Rico and shit.
Yeah.
And when I played my beats for certain people, it was probably like 4 months in or whatever. I didn't really tell nobody yet, but I played my beats for other people, and this one kid was just so real to me. He was like, "Bro, I'm not gonna lie, this shit is trash, but I'm gonna get you nice. I'm gonna tell you what you need to do and what you have to get and all this shit." And he put me on to like the VSTs, the drum kits. I was just using stock shit. I didn't think there was more to the program FL. And he was just putting me on to like chords and producers he be watching on YouTube. I didn't even know they had shit on YouTube. Like it was crazy. And yo, instead of playing video games, Call of Duty, I was just playing, you know what I'm saying? Making beats.
Man, that's crazy. Shout out to bro, man. You said before, like it's its own like whole different swag over there. I feel like you like production wise, but even just like style wise, whatever, got like your own kind of swag, not like going off what the current trends are or whatever. So it's cool. And salute to bro too to even want to like,
Nah, real shit, man.
yeah, because I mean, I don't know how too much like he ended up getting out of that, but
Right.
obviously for you it's like crazy. Um, man, that's fire. Do you how long do you end up staying in Puerto Rico for?
I stayed there for like a year and a half, and then I moved back down here
Did you
to Pennsylvania. Yeah,
at what point do you get to LA?
I got to LA 2019, if I'm not mistaken. 2019, yeah.
When did you kind of know? I feel like this is an interesting point in a lot of people's careers. So you went from PA to Puerto Rico back to PA and then to LA.
Yep.
So when did you know? That's really cool to have like that time in the middle to somewhere else just to kind of like have a whole like fresh atmosphere. But I guess for you, when did you know like it was time to actually like make the move to LA? Because I feel like that's a lot of people like they're starting to get placements. They might have people hitting them up like, yo, you in the city, and they're not there, and they're like, damn, I wish I was there, or whatever, whether that's moving to Atlanta or LA or maybe Miami. But what was kind of like the sign for you that it was like, all right, damn, I think it is really time to make this move?
Yeah. So I was always coming out here, like I said, change of scenery always would motivate me, and I'll come back working 10 times harder. So I would come out here for like 2 weeks or a month, from probably like twice or three times a year. And yeah, I was getting like FOMO and shit too, seeing people that I was just with, like in the studio with somebody, and I'd be like, damn, I could have been there. Like, but where I'm from, there's not like a lot of resources and no studio, no nothing like that. So it was just like it was a lot of pressure. I definitely knew I had to be out here. And when I felt comfortable to come out here, then that's when I really like decided to make the move. And even like when I moved out here, it was bumpy as hell too. It was rough start, but and this is before Eternal Take came out, and
Way before.
this is just kind of when Young Bands is about to drop and other shit going on, and that's when I just moved out here, and I'm like, all right, shit might be good. Like I was getting like a good sign for it, but yeah, man, it was destined for sure. So I just had to thug it out.
Yeah, most definitely. So you brought up Eternal Atake, which obviously ends up coming out. Uh February 2020. I'll never forget it. Or I think March 2020. I'll
Yeah.
never forget it because I'm sure you'll never forget it, but I'll never forget it because I feel like he dropped that and then the world just like ended. Like,
Oh my God.
yeah, like right after I remember listening to it. I had a trip planned to Chicago. Then I remember boom, the NBA or the NBA's canceled, and then boom, NCAA March Madness canceled, then boom. I'm like, damn, this is crazy.
This
But
shit
we're
insane.
gonna get into all that for sure. But you did have like Uzi stuff way before then, like
Yeah.
2018, maybe even 2017. Correct me if I'm wrong. How
Yeah.
do you even like get into the mix in the first place to being able to like have Uzi hear your production, nonetheless, like jump on it and have like songs, whether released or unreleased, to it?
Yeah. Well, shit. Shout out to Molly Raw, man. Shout out to Spike Jordan. Those were people I knew that were like in Uzi's camp back in 2016. And I was just sending stuff out. I was sending beats all the time to Spike. And I was sending, collabs with Molly Raw. Because, that was his go-to producer. And yeah, I was like low-key, like I was in the Philly scene for like a little minute. I was working with the artist out there named Core. And they kind of knew some of my stuff already. So that's why I reached out to Molly Raw and he was down to collab and shit like that. And I just kept flooding him. And I guess that made it easier for me to like meet Vert, and they bring me to the studio one day and I just played a pack for him. And I would take that drive from the Poconos. It's called the Poconos in Pennsylvania, down to Philly. It's like 2 hours. I'll take a drive, like they'll be like, yo, we're in the studio tonight at like 10 p.m. And I'm like getting up. I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna put my shit together. I'm gonna take this drive. Yo, I'll be down there in 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. I'll take that drive, go down there, you know, vibe out, play some beats, this, that, there, and then drop all the way back at like 5, 6 in the morning, bro. And it was just like, I wanted it, man. So I was just going hard for it for sure.
Are you driving fast as hell to get there?
Hell yeah. Had to give me a little two-door.
Yeah, you
To
probably
be
driving
down there.
fast and shit. Let me ask you this. I know because I always kind of like to try to like humanize the like parts that everyone's too cool for. That's a drive. That's 4.5, maybe 5 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
In the span of like less than a day. Did you ever have times when you drove there and like felt like you came back with like nothing accomplished, like you barely got to play anything, you barely put any work in, you just kind of sat there?
There's times on my drive back, like he fell asleep.
Yeah.
Feel me? And even when I'm there, I'll be like, I'll try to like get something done so it's not a waste of time. But at the end of the day, just like being in that environment and in a studio that, you know what I'm saying? I come back home and I just lock in and I just get that, the change of scene thing again, man. It's like I get motivated and I get right back to it.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I guess even before then, when you connected with them to even be able to kind of like be in like the like Uzi world, what did you just kind of connect with them via like Instagram or the internet, or how did you kind of do it?
Yeah, I met Spike through a mutual friend in LA. And yeah, Molly Raw was through Instagram. I just reached out and I was like, yo, bro, you going crazy. I want to send you some shit.
Yeah.
Like, let's go, let's work. And then the first collab that we had with Uzi was Miss Cleo. They dropped it on SoundCloud. It was in 2016. I was like, oh yeah, it's over. Let's go.
It's over.
Yeah. Just try
Yeah,
to stay locked in with him.
man. But yeah, no, that was crazy. And then, finally you have so much stuff just stacked up for so long. And Eternal Atake finally gets announced, and then, you probably have that breath of fresh air. Cause like, I mean, what was it like just waiting so long on like a cut like that? Like, how are you like, how's your mental at that point? Are you ever just like, this shit never gonna come out? Are you ever like that? Like, you gotta be just like kind of like mind screwing yourself at some point, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, man, it was like, there was little pump fakes, little teases. It was supposed to drop 2019 of July. Cover art comes out. I'm like, I'm hyped. Let's get it. Then it didn't drop, and it was just like it was a lot of bullshit, a lot of leaks, and everything was just against me, man. But I was like, I was trying not to let it, discourage me, and I just kept making new shit, and I'm like, fuck it, like he probably going through it too, bro. So it's like I just try to stay connected with him and make sure this shit happens. I'm already like pot committed. I was already pot committed to this shit, man. So and I knew it'd be worth it. And hell yeah, bro.
Man,
Fact.
and it was definitely worth it in a major way. Uh, so when you finally know that it's actually coming out, but even then, I remember he said on his story like it was like a Thursday or like a maybe it was more like a Tuesday, Wednesday, and he said like Eternal Atake 2 weeks, and then it just comes out like that Thursday or whatever. Did you know at that time was paperwork done and everything? So
Oh, yeah, I've gotten paperwork before that though, and it still didn't
right,
drop.
that's
So
true.
like
That's a good
it
point.
was like, yeah, it was like, all right, here we go again. Like, here's another one. And
Yeah.
I ain't believed it till like the day before or the track list came out. And I was like, all right, this shit about to drop.
That's a good point though. Like it's never out until it's out. Like a lot of people like to say it's not official until there's paperwork, but that's not true. Like it's actually never out until it's out.
Yeah, nah, he's just like me though, like impulsive as hell. So he could drop tomorrow if he wanted to. And that's the
Man, but I
that's
do
that's
hope
that's cool though. That's some rock star shit. I ain't gonna lie. So
some
he really
rockstar
wants.
shit for sure. Uh did you so you had done paperwork for a bunch of the tracks, but obviously like we just said, that doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna come out or whatever. But when it's officially announced and officially released and the track list comes out, are you just like running to your phone to look at the track list to see if it matches up with songs you have gotten paperwork for? Or how does it get to the point where you're like officially know, like, okay, you're on here, like it's up?
Nah, that's a good point right there. That's funny you say that because so I got paperwork right and all this shit, and then the track list comes out, but the names are completely different than
Oh
what
no.
every single song. I only seen one song on there that was the same, and I was like, nah, no way. Like I only got one song on there, and I'm like, because they tag me on Instagram and shit whenever. And I see it, I'm like, damn, bro, nah, that's crazy. And then but yeah, no, when track lists come out, I try to stay on it just to like, feel me. I'm a fan of music, man. So I just be excited and find any source of motivation I could get.
No, most definitely. So then the track list comes out and it's only one you recognize on there. So it's got to be on one hand, like, all right, at least I'm on there. But on another hand, like, damn, I only got one after I didn't expected all this. But
Yeah,
then finally it drops and remind me how many you had on there again.
I had 5 on there.
Yeah, you had five on there. And then what's it like after that? Like, is it the same songs with different names?
Yeah, it was the same songs with different names.
And then it's just up, like your Instagram just explodes, I'm sure.
Yo, yeah, it was like after it dropped, yeah, my shit was low-key going crazy. I woke up to it though, like one of my favorite songs that we made, which was Bust Me. I was asleep at my boy's crib, and this girl comes in playing that song on her phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, how you get that song? Like, what? What just happened? She's like, the album's out. The album came out. Boom, boom. Woke me up to it. And I was like, nah, for real. And she comes in, she's like, yeah, I heard your tag already, this, that, and third, like all hype about it. And I'm like, yeah, that's fire. Let's get it. And then I'm having like people following me, like Genius and Rap Caviar and shit. And it was just like, this hard, this far.
It's like, all right, that had to be such like, bro, I felt it for you. Like, I remember, like, even we hadn't really been talking too much back then, but I remember we had talked about like doing the YouTube collection before to like collect on some of the leaks that was just flying
Oh
around everywhere.
yeah, yeah. I
But
remember that. Yeah.
yeah, but like, man, we hadn't like really chopped it up too much in the frame when the project actually dropped. But I just remember like that must have been such a breath of fresh air. Like finally, like I'm all the way through the door because it was like just some big moment to wait on for so long. But what I do want to get into is like there's so many people who wait so long for that like type of moment to happen, or even like upcoming producers who have like a big song just break through, even if it's from like a tight beat or something. And sometimes, unfortunately, no matter how much they try, it's just hard to kind of like stay on it and like roll with the momentum that you now have. But
Yeah.
you're somebody who like definitely did a really good job of that. And I salute you 1,000 times over. But how did you kind of like make sure that you use that moment to really like propel your career rather than just have it be like the peak? You know what I mean?
Shit, man. Yeah, it's just trial and error. Like, honestly, it's no really like structure or principles to it and nothing like that. It's just shit, man. Stay active, stay looking for new artists and stay looking for producers that are doing their thing to collab with, and just try to stay on top of, ahead of the wave, ahead of the curve. You always gotta stay ahead of that.
Yeah, definitely. And then I mean, I'm sure it's far from over with like you and Uzi working and locked in and new stuff on the way, but what a what a blessing it was to what a blessing it was to get hit with like the Uzi I'm proud of you off of the Thug YSL project. Like that was one that when it wasn't on any of the Uzi stuff, you're probably thinking like this might be one that never comes out. But how are you
Yeah.
feeling when that finally dropped in to make an appearance on that track on that project?
I'm not gonna lie, I was really like surprised on how much the fans loved that song too. Because I think we made that song with another song that same day, and he made that so fast. And then we made this other song that was so crazy, and I was like, I didn't even think about it. But when he snippeted it and I seen everybody going crazy for it, I was like, this is crazy, bro. Like, we need to drop that. And I think Thug was supposed to drop an album like a few months later when he snippeted it. So I was like, yo, he might put it on the Thug album. And it never got on there. So I was like, all right, so it might be over with. Like, he might not put it out. But it's cool though. Like, it did what it had to do off the snippet and all this shit, man. But just seeing like the fans beg for it and just flood the comments for it, man, it was beautiful. And then when it finally came out, like I said, I got paperwork 3 days, 4 days before it dropped, and I was like, it might be another pump fake.
Yeah.
But then boom, it dropped, and I was like, all right, that's fine. Let's get it.
Bro, it's fun that I gotta start using the pump fake term more because there's so many like in this music shit, there's so many pump fakes, whether it's like
Bro, so many
placements, people faking that they're really involved with this more than they really are,
yeah.
this, that, whatever. Like there's a ton of stuff. So
There be times where I think it's just me. I'm like, yo, why is it just me, bro? But
yeah.
it really be like a lot of producers have they have the same story, like something about to drop. Never mind, he scrapped the whole album. He's about to start fresh,
Yeah.
got work and all that, and they just never drop shit. Like that shit sucks, man. But you can't be dependent on that. You can't be banking on that. That can't be your only, you know, ticket for sure. You gotta diversify shit for sure.
No, most definitely. And you've done a good job with that, with especially working with up and coming people, a lot of up and coming artists. Obviously, like Yeat, who's having a crazy run right now. You made a super strong appearance on his deluxe. I mean, what's it like working with him, and how's it like being a part of that project?
Bro, Yeat real, man. I fuck with Yeat heavy. He he's a workaholic for sure. He stayed working and dropping shit, man. I love to see that shit. But I feel like me and him, our chemistry is real good, and we make some good fucking records, bro. For sure.
Most definitely. Man, that's crazy. That's all I've been listening to lately, really. Like, and to see him and Uzi together, like that was another one where I wasn't sure if that was actually ever gonna really come out for real because it was just so many
Yeah.
snippets and pump fakes, like you never really knew.
Nah,
But
same. That ran through my head too, bro. I was like,
yeah,
it might be a pump fake. They put a snippet out, but the song's hard. It's like, it's cool. Like I don't mind the snippet either because it's still content regardless.
Yeah. I mean, it's so cool to just kind of like hear your story and how you kind of broke through to the next level despite like, barriers or what seems like it at that point. Of course, everyone goes through it, but I mean, I would say for you, like as far as a lot of like up and coming producers go, people who are really hoping to get to a certain point, whether it's like you on, major label projects or just even staying in the mix with a lot of up and coming guys. For you, like what's some advice you would give to them for how to just like kind of keep climbing and be motivated? Because I'm sure you dealt with, different things across your path, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Shit to keep. I mean, you know, you can't get discouraged. It's not gonna happen overnight, man. It took me multiple years, bro. And where I'm from, like I said, they ain't really rap. Like it's a little music scene, but it ain't. I always had to go out, drive, commute, go to New York or go to Philly to really make something happen. But I'm sure if you put in that work, you put in that grind and dedicating your shit to that degree, something's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Something's gonna come out of it. Just be ready when something comes out of it too, because a lot of people will boom, okay. Number one, boom, boom, boom. Then they stuck like, how do I do it again? Like, or what's next? Like, you know what I'm saying? You always gotta be prepared for what's next and not just, you know, bank on one thing for sure.
That's most definite. Some really good advice right there. But now we appreciate it big time. I mean, I guess in conclusion, kind of like what's next? Obviously, we're still in kind of the early-ish part of 2022. Like, what's next for you? What are you excited about? What do you got going on? Any exciting updates everyone should be on the lookout for?
Hell yeah, well, I got these artists I signed named Bad Neighbors. I've been working on their music and we about to turn them up real soon, man. That's definitely what's next. They're the next fucking rock stars, superstars coming out. We got a show actually, Smokers Club on Saturday. It's about to be lit, and they about to do Lyrical Lemonade as well. But also with production wise, trying to do like a Latin record, bro.
Oh yeah.
Trying to do like a Latin record. I'm trying to work with some more up and coming, artists. SSG Kobe got an album on the way. He about to go crazy. I'm just, tapped in, man. Definitely trying to sign some producers too, man, and expand, make this shit a fucking big ass corporation business type shit.
Most definitely. Now you're always on it, man. You're always on it. But we appreciate it big time. The producer room powered by producer culture. Bugz is trying to sign producers. Everyone, make sure you flood his DM with Dropbox links.
Definitely.
Send him a whole bunch of transfers, the whole nine.
No cap, no cap.
Oh yeah, but we appreciate it big time. The producer room powered by producer culture. Let's go.